Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Mike Dewan here with the Region Sports Network alongside me. If I'm here, Jay Simmons is most likely here as well. You can catch us on Thursday nights. We were together Tuesday night. We were together not too long before this, and now we are here for the Region Football Wrap-Up Show. What's up, Jay?
Just been a great week hanging out with you, Mike, in Region Sports, having a blast all week.
No doubt about it.
Let's wrap it up, put a bow on it, and wrap it up for next week, man.
A fun semi-state weekend. Jay and I we weren't completely sharing these pizzas. We got a full crew on hand here as well. We're coming to you live from our Center Big studio at the Diamond Plate Pub and Eatery at the Athletic Performance Factory. Full crew on hand. Zach Miller's in the house producing tonight. Aaron Svetlin did a great job as well, helping us out. Justin Cole's in the house. Executive producer Chris Ramirez as well, helping us take down these pizzas. But more so, we got some games to take down as well, Jay. Again, a lot of teams were able to punch their ticket, of course, to the state finals as well. So our first segment, we'll kind of gloss over those games that were outside of the region, if you will. Maybe talk about the games that may pertain to those two teams in the region that had punched their ticket. But more so, again, kind of highlight two teams locally that punched their ticket, more specifically two teams on Broadway. So a fun night over there on Broadway.
Yeah, we had a blast covering that game. What a great game. What a great atmosphere on the field, in the press box, and a great group of fans that were able to tough out the weather.
All right, we'll start it off at the 1A Northern Semi-State as Pioneer beat South Adams. The Panthers beat the Starfires 31-14. They will take on South Putnam, who beat those unranked Milan Eagles 40-7. Milan kind of came up short. We talked about them on Region Football Weekly.
My underdog of the weekend.
The only underdog, really, the real underdog of the whole tournament,
right.
Where they were completely unranked in the IFCA poll. So South Putnam and Pioneer, I believe that it is, I think the even classes, from what I remember, they're on Saturday. So the odd classes, I believe they will be on Friday. So the 1A state final between Pioneer and South Putnam will be first thing in the morning on Black Friday down at Lucas Oil Stadium in Week 15. Hard to believe we are on the verge of that now. Jay, at the Class 2A, we will skip the North and save it for later. Again, we'll have highlights for our two local games here as well. But in the south part of the state, the Brownstown Central Braves beat the Lapel Bulldogs. They went on the road to get the win 31-21. Again, that game will kick off. That state final will kick off on Saturday. Kick off the morning slate with the even games once again being on Saturday and the odd classes being on Friday. Up at 3A in the North, Jay, we can pump the brakes a little bit on this one. We saw that Fort Wayne Lures was a team that has been around the block at the 3A level.
Yes,
they were going for double digits in the semi-state rounds, just one of those well-renowned teams. While Knox is this team that,
upstart.
They have, an upstart. Obviously, you have a player like Miles McLaughlin who, he's shattering records both at the state and national level. But you run into a team like this that Lure's been around the block, and although you have a coach like Russ Radke on your sidelines, it's tough. They're outmatched, obviously, for 4 quarters in this one. Fort Wayne Lures got the win there, 35-0.
Yeah, and Fort Wayne Lures is sort of like they play an Andrain type schedule. They play 5A and 4A schools all season long, so they are ready for the playoffs every year, and it just seems like they just excel in the playoffs. So a great job by Fort Wayne Lures. We hate to see Knox come up short, and Coach Russ Radke, who's either loved or beloved in Northwest Indiana, depending on where you're from. But great job by Coach Radke, and we came up a little short on what it would have been his fourth different school taking it to the state. I do remember you mentioning that on Thursday night.
But still, nonetheless, quite the memorable season for Knox, and more importantly, their superstar senior, we can call him, Miles McLaughlin, who's had a heck of a career, obviously. That is one of the better careers in Indiana history, let alone maybe high school football history.
We'll have to wait until we get the final stats to see where he falls in terms of 1 through 10 in all-time rushing yards.
Yeah, chasing Derrick Henry as well. A heck of a career. But now the Lures Knights, they will be awaiting their opponent. That game actually got moved to Saturday downstate. Gibson Southern and Cascade. That game is postponed till tomorrow. So feel free to take a look on that. Lures will be definitely scoreboard watching to see who they will take on come next week. Up at 4A, South Bend St. Joseph, a team I got to watch. Their defense is great, but their offense couldn't put up much points against the Fort Wayne Dwenger Saints, who got the win 28-7. Dwenger will take on Indianapolis Roncalli, who beat Heritage Hills. The Royals beat the Patriots 42-14 at the 4A Southern Semi-State Final. Moving over to, we'll go to the 5A South, as New Palestine, the top team in the class, took care of business, took care of Bloomington South, especially 42-0. The big dogs at 6A Westfield, big win up there, 35-14 over Fort Wayne Carroll. And Brownsburg stays unbeaten. That defense is tough. 31-0 got the win over Warren Central. All right, Jay Simmons and I have 2 games to break down at the end of this break. We'll start with the 2A level between the Andrean 59ers and the Adams Central Flying Jets. You are watching the Region Football Wrap-Up Show on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently. And then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. We're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Macknick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. It's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland. And ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports, mainly because I get a lot of feedback. Especially on the high school level, a lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online, they're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
Back here on the Region Football Wrap-Up Show, live from our Center Bank studio at the Athletic Performance Factory. Jay Simmons, I am Mike Dewan here at the Region Sports Network. We'll start it off with one of the 2 games on the Region Sports Network. We had the audio call from that one, a fan appreciation freebie, if you will, a game night built by Armor Construction. Live from the Holy Lands, the Andrean 59ers took on the Adams Central Flying Jets. Adams Central coming into this game, the top-ranked team at the 2A class. Andrean number 4, more importantly, a rematch from last year's semi-state game, a game where Adams Central got the best of Andrean, but anything goes kind of at this point in the tournament, Jay. And we could roll the clip in this one. Got to have a big shout-out to our guy on site there, which was Thomas Marsh as well, who sent the clips in, and Zach Miller as well, our producer, putting this up together. So we'll take it from the top here. As looking at how things went, I believe Andrean struck first in this one with the Jax Alvarez 3-0 field goal in the first quarter, but Adams Central responded 6-3, and plenty of big special teams plays here for now Andrean who blocked a punt, the special teams unit that has been solid all season long, more so in the tournament. Gets a big play there. And then once again on the kickoff return, that's Gavin Jones, who already had a kickoff return last week for a touchdown in the regional championship. Put together another big one, sparking some momentum and looking at the crowd on hand for Andrean, hungry to make some more noise. As you see a little bit of our other game, as well as Jay and I will enter back into the shot here. But Andrean, nonetheless, we'll cap it right there, Jay. Andrean, 24-19 was that final score. They got the win against Adams Central, a team that did a little bit on, obviously, special teams, as we saw. Offense came around. The defense did their part once again. A lot better performance than against Southmont.
Well, and one of the things we talked about on Thursday night was Adams Central not kicking off, but instead on squibbing it, just short kicking it, not letting Andrean special teams beat them like they did tonight on that big kickoff return right there. And then also we talked about the defense putting up some points and putting their offense in great field position, and they did that again tonight. So kudos out to the defense and special teams sort of carrying the offense. And, you usually don't hear a game go that particular way, but great job by Andrean. All around, great game.
It's a team that is very complimentary, even at the 2A level. Look at some of the scoring summary. Dylan Gore had a touchdown to make it 10-6. Then on that block punt was Bruce Morehouse from about 36 yards out, made it 17-7, and forced a couple turnovers. And before you know it, Andrean now punches their ticket to the semi-state round. Again, 24-19 was that final score. They'll be going back to the state championship game, their first time since 2022, and they will be taking on Brownstown Central. So that game will be played on Saturday morning. So that'll be a fun one to look out for. You and I can break that down going next week.
I think Brownstown's going to look at that special teams of Andrean and say, I don't know if we want to tangle with them. Punt the ball out of bounds, kickoff, squib kicks, things of that nature. But, try and take one factor and turn it into your favor if you want to try and beat Andrean. And I think Andrean's a great all-around, well-balanced team in all three aspects of the game.
And now if you're the 59ers, Jay, you revenge a loss from last season as well against Adams Central. And more so, you beat the top team in the state. So if morale wasn't riding high already, it's definitely riding high come Turkey Day in the Bowl.
Yeah, and they got to be riding high, and they've been riding high all season long. They've been playing. And, we always talk to Coach Skinner about his schedule. And he goes, I love playing these schools upwards. And it pays off this time of year. Their strength of schedule is probably among the best at the 2A level.
All right, we'll step aside here and we'll break down the 5A, the local 5A game that Jay and I were at this Friday evening. We'll be back here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Ava, let's go.
Try it on.
The shortest distance between two people is a smile. That's why we're committed to fighting hunger in our communities until everyone has a reason to smile. Stratton Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday Night Football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Hi, this back here for the Region Football Tailgate Show as Jay Simmons finishes up his drink and more so takes a great bite of a pizza here. We're live at the Center Bank Studio at the Athletic Performance Factory. Jay, we were sharing a pizza just about all night. What are you thinking here? No pepperoni, no sausage
I'm going with
action?
the pepperoni. I think it's a little tastier than the sausage.
I'm a pizza guy regardless, so I don't really pick favorites here. Are you a jarred on pizza guy at all? You a big giardiniera guy?
No. Just regular straight sausage or pepperoni.
Oh, jarred, really? You're from the area and jarred? No, are you a spice guy at all? Or no?
No.
That explains it.
Then when you get to 60, you'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But hey, we will talk about a fun game that we did on the Region Sports Network as well. You and I were on the call for that one, which it was a blast. It was we got word from our executive producer Christian Ramirez at the sideline and the bleachers and everything. It was packed and come to levels that hasn't been seen in quite some time. So hope was high for Maryville to get over the hump, and they did just that. They took on the Concord Minutemen and got the win finally at the semi-state round, 41-14. Jay, your assessment on this one?
Well, what a great game. They came out a little flat, and then Brevard pops off a big run. I think it was about 49, 50 yards or so. And they're up. Concord's up 7-0 right away. And then all of a sudden, Maryville punts. Concord's going in to score. Could have put them up 14-0. Burner, who was just about to enter the end zone, carries the ball, tries to stick the ball out just as he's about to enter the end zone, gets hit. Concord fumbles the ball into the end zone. Maryville picks up the ball, gets it on the 20, and then the next play, one of the plays of the game, 80-yard run by
Cameron
Jordan. Boom. And one of his 4 touchdowns on the night. What a great performance by him. And then it just seemed to be steamrolling from that point on. And Maryville just physical dominance, not only with the backs, but also the offensive lines, which were the blue-collar players of the game, that offensive line, throwing in the tight end as well. But a great job. They just manhandled that Minutemen defensive line. And it bodes well for them moving up to the next level in the state championship.
Yeah, as we see, we got some highlights rolling all throughout the game as well. Jay and I were on the call for that one. And Maryville, it was simple as this. They were, as you see, the long run there from Cameron Jordan, the season saver, if you will. About an 80-yard touchdown there right after they forced the fumble as well. And this was a team that just pounded the rock all night long, got the job done there. Simply all Maryville. There's J.Q. Johnson, the yin and yang in the backfield. We talk about Cameron Jordan. You can talk a lot about J.Q. Johnson as well. That was a big-time touchdown. It would not be the last for the senior running back for the Maryville Pirates. Take a look at that stands, the grandstands as well. How many people are there for them? Maryville back on offense once again. You could imagine another touchdown to follow. Cameron Jordan waltzes right into the end zone. Might have been a hat trick at the time. That would not be the last time you'd hear his name. He finished the night with 4 touchdowns that resulted in a Maryville victory. What was a fun night overall. You see one more touchdown there to put insult to injury. Cameron Jordan's 4th touchdown. J.Q. Johnson had 2 to his name as well. Michael Hill Jr., the Duneland Offensive Player of the Year, really wasn't asked to do much. He made a couple big throws in the first half, but that's a relief as a quarterback who has that skill set like Hill does.
And I think that was Concord's thing is they were going to take away the passing game, and may I say they took full advantage of the running game, did the Maryville Pirates, and they tried to take Hill out of the game. I think that was one of their focuses because anytime Hill was going back to throw, he had pressure all over him, and he had somebody spying on him, so he was not able to get out and run with the ball once he tried to throw it. So they just really focused on the running backs, and great job by the Maryville coaching staff to recognize that, and a great job by that offensive line.
Yeah, one thing that Wheelie's kind of alluded to as kind of the game ended was seeing the relief on head coach Brad Cease, seeing him take a couple heavy sighs, and finally, they've been in this spot 3 years in a row. They lost to Fort Wayne Snyder 2 years ago. They lost to Warsaw. Then you highlighted it on Region Football Weekly. For them to be back at home and see that environment that we talked about, how many fans were there in the community and those previous teams that maybe fallen short, and those people watching on the broadcast. And it's hard for us, Jay, not to, no matter what our alliance is, our alma mater, or what schools we may pull for a little bit more, to see a community that was so deprived of getting to that next level. Truly, truly impressive and fun to watch.
And one of the things I think you got to really point out is that the defense, especially in the second half, played lights out. They had 2 turnovers and then also a stop on 4th down that caused Maryville to get the ball back in great field position, and they took full advantage of it right there. So kudos goes to the defense. They played lights out tonight as well.
And I think we'll eventually bring on one guy that can definitely speak on how much it probably means to the Maryville community, and more so as members of the sports media field. We'll eventually bring on Chris Ramirez, our executive producer. So you want to come in on camera? Or you just want,
no. You guys are far too handsome for me. Are you kidding?
Flattery gets you anywhere, as somebody once said. So, but Chris, I guess what I said to Jay, I mean, you were there. You were on the field. We caught you middle of the 50-yard line shooting video when they were shaking hands and Maryville, obviously, fans were rushing the field. What does this mean to you to see? Again, I talked with Jay as well on the broadcast that with you guys both being in this business longer than I have, and you've seen these teams falling short, Maryville in the semi-state round often means one result, and tonight was not that result.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing to be there. Nights like tonight are one of the reasons that I love high school football in the region so much. The pomp and the circumstance and all that goes with it, the energy that was in that place tonight, and as I told you guys about the sidelines, just how crowded it was. I've never seen the Maryville sidelines like that before. But maybe one of the best things of the night, with modern communication, people can find out what's going on. And it seemed like the crowd in the second half was a lot bigger than the crowd in the first half, especially kids. Kids were coming to the game. They're hearing, hey, we're winning. It's halftime. We're up by 2 touchdowns. We could win. We look good here tonight. And the kids just started pouring in and filled the place, and it just filled it up with energy. You could feel it wherever you were. And to me, maybe the most fun was right after the game. You said you saw me on the field there. That's when I saw the kids rush the field right after that, and the smiles on their faces and the happiness that was just going on was really, that's the reason I ended up staying there. My original plan was to go down one half at Maryville, one half at Andrean. But I got that feeling that something special was going to happen. And, Andrean, they've done it 8-9 times now. Sure. So good for them. I'm happy that they did it. But Maryville was a little different tonight. There was a little different feeling in the air there. It was like tonight's going to be the night. And it was. And really, the game wasn't even that close, guys. I mean, Maryville kind of, Maryville doesn't fumble that opening drive. Who knows what happens? Yeah. Concord might not score all night long. Yeah. So it was just, it was a great atmosphere. It's what high school football in the region is all about tonight. And congratulations to everybody at Maryville. It was fabulous. It was great to be there.
Definitely. And although you weren't able to make it to Andrean, I think it's a good segue where it's kind of a full circle moment where the 2 teams that finished the season, or was also 2 teams that kind of started the season for us as well. That week 1 matchup, the battle on Broadway. Andrean and Maryville always play. And although those are 2 teams that don't really like each other as well, when we kind of get to this point of the year, we're all kind of rooting for each other. So what could you speak on kind of that full circle moment, Chris? And again, 2 schools that may not like each other most nights, but it's kind of cool. You can see them both kind of tip the cap to each other, especially come next week.
Yeah, I got the sense tonight on the sideline was everybody was pulling for Andrean over there. We were checking scores, and as Andrean's winning, everybody was happy about that. Guys were coming up talking about it. And you know what? I know there's somewhat of a rivalry, but I've never looked at Andrean to me, unless I've missed something. Maryville hasn't been a school that Andrean has picked apart over the years. Maryville's managed to keep most of its kids. Andrean draws from a big area,
Sure.
but I don't know how many kids directly, that had a choice between Maryville and Andrean end up at Andrean. So I don't know that there's a lot of necessarily, that sort of bad blood. But, tonight really, I was calling it Broadway, Indiana, the capital of football, 9 blocks apart, and 2 semi-state games. I don't imagine there's too many places in the country where 9 blocks apart, there are 2 different semi-state high school football games going on anywhere in the country. So, pretty impressive. A lot of fun to be at, the Holy Lands, as we call it, on Broadway had to be a lot of fun. And, the Purple Palace, as I like to call it, in Maryville, where I was and you guys were, it was just electric tonight. It was, and it's always better to win, isn't it? We've been on these semi-state nights when we've been on the other side of this.
Yes,
and
we have.
You don't have the smile, and the mood is not the same. And you can feel it with all of us.
Yeah.
We're all pepped, it's just, we're all in a great mood, bottom line. And if we come back here tonight with, a couple of losses under our belt, we're dragging ourselves in here, and it's like, all right, let's get this over with.
If we would have done the show to begin with,
Right, exactly.
Right.
If we would have even bothered, correct. And if we would have, it would have been just, let's get it over with.
We would have very well probably went home if it was a night like last year as well. I believe we went 0-3
Yes,
as
I
a
remember
region.
that well.
It was Black Friday for sure.
It
so,
was, yeah.
But no, it was a fun night overall. Kind of us 3 being there. Definitely different perspectives all around, but nonetheless, a fun time overall.
Yeah, and I was with some guys on the sideline. A lot of old Maryville guys that were there, former Maryville players, a lot of them. And some of them that were, Mike Krutz is the principal there. Mike was on the 76 state championship team. I had the good fortune of standing right next to him. I was the first one to tell him, Mike, the Pirates are going to state, and really cool. Janice Cooliza was right there. So just all these Pirates and stuff that were there that came back for this. When you talk about 49 years, I'm standing next to a Pirate who's 48 years old, and he looked at me and said, I wasn't even born yet, And that's how long it's been, but it meant so much to everybody that was there. Whether you were a 15-year-old kid in the bleachers or whether you're a 75-year-old man at the game tonight, it meant the same to everybody, it felt like. History
Was made, and that's what makes these Fridays so important. Again, the Andrean 59ers, they punched their ticket to state. Once again, a 24-19 victory over Adams Central. They will open up the festivities on Saturday against Brownstown Central. And those Maryville Pirates, long time coming, 49 years to be exact, they will take on the top-ranked New Palestine Dragons to finish things out that Friday, that Black Friday evening. Jay, any final thoughts as next week will look a little bit different all around in terms of Region Football Weekly, in terms of a wrap-up show, but it's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, and I think history was made tonight. Think about it. 2 semi-state games within a few blocks of each other, and the home teams won, and all in pretty much the same town, the same street. I think history was made tonight. People are going to look back at tonight and just think, wow, what a great night for the region. And I got, I'm just thinking about it. I have a smile on my face and there's a pep in my step at this late hour.
No doubt about it. Well, you and I will finish more of this pizza
right,
as well as the
it.
rest of our crew. We got more football action, of course, coming next week. Come tomorrow as well. We'll also have plenty of girls basketball from Crown Point. We'll start things off at 10 a.m. They take on Northridge, and then at approximately 5 p.m. they take on Columbia City. They got a tournament going on there. Be on the lookout for Facebook, for YouTube, regionsports.com as well for those games, as well as next week's jam-packed schedule with wrestling, with basketball, and more football. Chris, you got anything else?
Yeah, you're promoting wrestling. I wanted to get that in there real quick. We got 2 state-ranked teams coming up on Tuesday from Portage. Crown Point, I think, ranked number 3 by Indiana, Matt, and Portage ranked 7 or 8, I think they're up to. So Tuesday night, tune in for that. Is it Tuesday, Mike, or
I believe Tuesday. That would be at Portage.
At Portage,
so,
correct, yep.
So take down time in the region as well. Danny Bell will have a full crew on hand for that as well. Some girls basketball maybe in the works, some boys basketball, and then eventually we'll kind of get to the weekend and we'll figure out kind of our football plans. But 2 teams in the dance, it's a good problem to have, and we're excited to see what will transpire for those teams as well as us here on the Region Sports Network. All right, that will do it from us for our on-site crews at Maryville. Jacksonelli was there. Our producer, Martin Murillo, was on the sidelines working the camera, as well as our executive producer, Chris Ramirez at Andrean, Andrew Mild, Wally McCormick, Clint Klaus, and Thomas Marsh was at the Holy Lands. And for our management crew not named tonight, Heather Ames, Rich Castillo, for our in-studio crew tonight, Zach Miller, also the coordinating producer, Aaron Svetlin doing a great job helping out as well. Justin Cole is in the house as well, helping us out all football season long, getting us to this point. Skibbs, our main man on scoreboard tonight as well. Big shout out to him getting those scores all across the state. But that'll do it from us here from the Athletic Performance Factory. Have a great weekend, everybody. Next time we see you, we'll talk about some state football. Until then, Jay and I will finish up this pizza. Thank you all for joining us so much. You guys allow us to do what we do. Good night, everybody. This has been a production of the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.